What's going on, Metalheads? Thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of the Metal Forge. My name is Mark Jackson, and I am your host. And today we have a full band with us on the Metal Forge, which, you know, we don't get that often because there's so many, 4 and 5 and more people in a band that it's kind of hard to get everybody wrangled at the same time, it seems like. But we're being joined with the Virgos today. Can we go around and introduce who we are here?
My name is Eli, and I play the drums.
Hell yeah.
I'm Danni Crockett. I play the bass guitar.
Awesome.
I'm Andy. I sing, I play guitar, and I play a little tambourine.
Well, fuck yeah. Tambourine. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't get that much on a metal album.
There's not enough tambourine in metal. There's not enough tambourine in metal anymore.
Right.
That's just a true fact, as they say.
There's a deficit.
Right. Make tambourine metal again, right?
Make tambourine metal again, exactly.
Dude,
or make metal tambourine again. It could go either way.
That's an interesting concept, and I'm digging that. Make tambourine metal again. Or make metal tambourine again.
Yeah, it's whatever you want. It's really whatever you want.
That's you've already blown my mind. That's a massive conundrum because, like I said, there's not enough of it there. You know, it used to be like, it was the cowbell joke, but now it's tambourine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, how are y'all doing?
We're doing fantastic. We're in the middle of a practice right now. We're practicing for our last show of the year.
Holy shit! Wow.
We paused our practice to be here.
Dude, that's amazing. I appreciate that so much, and thank you all for doing this. And shout outs to Will at Season of Mist for setting this up. So tell everybody in Metal Forge Land about the Virgos.
The Virgos, we love heavy music, and we love wherever heavy music takes us. And I think, I'm not just speaking for myself, but maybe for the band, we're a little disgusted with metal these days. It's a little too this, and it's not enough that. And we want metal to be fun, we want it to be danceable, and we want it to be heavy. And we don't care where that journey takes us. And we don't sound exactly like anything old, and we don't exactly sound futuristic either. We're music for right now. If you like headbanging and you like dancing and you want metal to be fun, not silly, not a joke, just fun. We want to make metal fun. Again,
absolutely.
Too many MAGA references already in this interview, but we want to make metal fun again.
Yeah, we gotta stop. We gotta stop doing that. I'm agreeing with Danni there. She's like, no, stop it. Totally know exactly what you mean. It does seem like, especially in commercial metal these days, that's just like it's pretty much like it kind of takes itself a little too seriously, I think.
Yeah.
When you're getting up and you're doing the things of like bigger bands or whatever you want to call them, major label bands kind of thing. They almost seem cannibalistic to a degree, where younger bands aren't really getting those chances like they should have, like they did 20 and 30 years ago. And it's hard to cultivate a flourishing scene that way. So yeah, I mean, totally doing something out of the box and out of the ordinary is, I think, where it's at.
Yeah, that's how we feel. And I mean, the band has been around before pandemic, but I mean, we, like many bands, we're a product of what happened during pandemic. And for us, that meant when venues were closed down and you couldn't play a show indoors, we just fired up the generator and built a bonfire in the woods 40 minutes outside of town by the creek where our swimming hole is. And we were ripping shows in the woods. We were ripping shows outdoors when we could. I mean, it's the Virgos, we're from Pennsylvania. We're from a place that doesn't have a huge metal scene. And we're just doing our own fucking thing, and it's helped us. It's helped us just kind of develop the whatever the fuck we want to do, we do attitude. And just not really giving a fuck about whatever else is happening, you know?
Well, yeah, and I think it's honestly, if you're in a place where there's not really a big scene connection or anything, yeah, I think that's what you have to do is make it yourself.
Yeah,
And
Major
I
cities.
know that.
they do.
What's that, Eli?
The major cities have something, but we're in the mountains, you know.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, so I'm from a small rural town in Indiana, and we didn't have a scene in our little town. We actually had to make it when we were teenagers and shit. When there was, you know, 20 or 30 of us who were all starting bands in like middle and high school type thing. And granted, that was a ways ago, but again, it's like you have to make it happen. If you want to do it, you got to make it happen.
That's the law. That's the law of the Virgos.
Absolutely. So tell me how you said you were pre-pandemic. So when you all got together to start doing things and you came up with the idea, it's like, how did you all converge?
I met Danny in 2017, and we just kind of immediately bonded over liking a lot of the same music, but our tastes aren't identical, but a lot of overlapping,
Yeah.
but wanting the same things from music.
We had the same outfit on. It was almost fucked up. And like, if we go back through history before we knew each other, like we have the same like incantation sweatshirt and we had the same outfit on.
Yeah, it was
before
pretty
we knew
funny.
each other. So parts of our brain are the same. And
Dude,
so
were we both wearing an incantation shirt when we showed up to?
it was like a
Wow.
camo hat and like a hellhammer.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. We were both wearing a Hellhammer. We were both wearing a Hellhammer shirt. We both had a camo hat on. And it's like, it's like the Spider-Man meme where it's like, whoa, like, yeah, there you are. And yeah, it was like the closest thing I can describe it to is like meeting like a long lost like twin sister she's been around doing her thing and I've been around doing my thing, but we somehow never met. And meeting her was like, whoa, like we were 27 or whatever at the time. And it was like, oh, wow, I've had a sister out there this whole time that I didn't know about. And here she is. And yeah, like we're like a brother sister vibe, just kind of have the same idea about what we wanted to do and what we wanted the law of the band to be. Yeah. And meeting Eli was like meeting a brother. I've known Eli for a while, but he met Danni, and we all just kind of clicked together into a unit that made sense.
That's cool. And that it feels like a big family. And that's awesome because, the metal family is where it's at. And,
For sure.
and I think that like, the brotherhood and sisterhood of even just like, within your own band versus, friend bands and peer bands and stuff like that too. There's something there as well, that it's like, especially when people that you're just like, I can really get on with what they do kind of thing. And because, like-minded individuals.
Yeah,
and that's
like
completely
like we
rad.
love we love drinking a 12-pack of beer, taking the four-wheeler, taking the Jeep off-road, and just like running it through the mud, blasting death, blasting human or individual thought patterns. Like that was like, one of the first couple times me and Dan hung out, and I thought, yeah, we half of our practices devolve into shooting guns, and it's just like, man, like it's almost like we have such a good time hanging out that it's hard to get work done. It's like hard to get shit done. And that's a good problem to have. That's a good problem to have,
It's part of it.
It benefits.
Yeah, it's part of it. It's part of it. It's part of it.
Absolutely. I totally get that because I'm in two bands myself. And like yesterday, by the time we're recording this, I was recording for one of the bands, and it was just like one of our guitar players showed up to finish his stuff too. And we were just like, blah, 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 talking the session time away. And we're just like, we better get the fuck down and do this.
Yeah,
because nothing gets done especially if you haven't seen each other for a minute, like we are. But then again, my band that's relative to Louisville here is the same way. We'll talk at practice and we're like, hey, you know what we should do? We should do this. And then it's just like, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then we'll have like this big thing about it, and then fucking practice doesn't happen or something.
That sounds
We're
familiar.
no stranger to that.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
And I think that's a healthy part of being in a band, honestly, because it's not just about the decision making of, of just shows and what we have to do and whatnot. There should be some fun in there as well, where you're discussing each other's lives at some point, or you're going out shooting or four-wheeling together and whatnot, or just, having some bit of fun.
You get hungry and you want pizza and wings, and you could go do that. You should be able to go do that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, if you can't get pizza and wings with your band, you shouldn't be in a band with them. You know what I mean?
Well, yes, I agree. Yes, that is very true.
Yeah.
and definitely the local dig does we definitely get the pizza from there. So it's awesome stuff all around. So you all just put out a new single called Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. The video, I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
It's the song in general has, where you sit there and said, you're not really beholden to anything older or futuristic. You're kind of an amalgamation of everything. Hearing like Sabbath style riffs over the album, hearing some black metal in the album, hearing, some thrash stuff in the album, just all kinds of different metal genre. How do you go about saying, like, when you're writing the songs and stuff, when you're just like, all right, how do you break it down?
We kind of do it.
It's part of like, do you want your band to sound like another band, or do you want to just set a parameter for like how you write? And that way it's like, what does the song call for? Well, we want a song that sounds like Rammstein. Okay. So we just, and whatever calls for it. And what kind of chorus do we want? Oh, what if we want a melodic chorus that sounds black? I mean, you just kind of let the song take you where you need to go. I mean, you let the song write itself, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Don't overthink it. Let the song write itself. If it sounds good, if it's flowing good, we have to stop being beholden to, I want to sound like Cannibal Corpse. I want to sound like Morbid Angel. I love Cannibal Corpse. I love Morbid Angel. But we as metalheads need to start thinking farther than that. Like I love Lord of the Rings black metal. I love all these genres that have 1,000 million bands in them. And there's some excellent music in there. But we need to let metal speak now. We've been strangling metal. We've been stuffing it into these boxes and into these sub genres. We need to dust the wings off, release the cage, open the cage, and let metal fly free into the world, and let metal talk. Let the metal talk. We've done enough.
Dude, that's
we've done enough.
No, I mean, I get that. That's awesome, because like you say, there's bands there, there are 1,000,001 bands in a certain subgenre or whatever. It's like, do you want to be band number 1,000,002?
And the Virgo, and really truly, Mark, the Virgo's biggest problem is, well, they sound eclectic, or it's like, well, we just sound like a metal band. Our big problem is that we don't sound like, you can't just point to like two bands and be like, they sound like Electric Wizard and Candlemass. I love those bands. But I mean, of course, there's Electric Wizard and Candlemass and the Virgos, but there's Immortal too, and there's Motorhead and Judas Priest, and there's Rainbow and Black Sabbath, and there's Kiss, and there's, it's like I said, I just want to let the metal flow. Just let the metal flow. We're not going to be constrained by a subgenre or a band, and it's great because the lane for us is wide open. We don't sound like anybody. Nobody sounds like us. Perfect. Lane is wide open for the Virgos,
And that feels like a prison to have to play one kind of music for the rest of your life.
Yes.
We don't want that.
Even if it's music that's as good as Morbid Angel's music or Cannibal Corpse's music, which that music is incredible. And they have, Cannibal has like 10 literally incredible albums that are worth listening to front to back. but we already got 10 Cannibal albums. We don't need another band that sounds like Cannibal. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
we're good.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great approach to, to doing this is, where you could have a part that does, like you said, Rammstein and a Candlemass chorus, because they can feasibly go together. And
Why
it's
not?
whether or not, it's beholden on the listener at that point to be able to grasp and understand it.
Yeah, I mean, but like, we're obviously not fucking Black Sabbath, but we worship Black Sabbath. And so it's like, what would Sabbath do? Sabbath, every song is basically every song is inventing a new sound. Like, we obviously could never reach that, but we aspire to that. And if we shoot for the moon and land on the stars, fantastic,
For sure. Well, and the Sabbath, you mentioned that, and it's just like a lot of their songs don't really have choruses.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of them don't. And it's just like you'll have like verse melodies, but then you might have like a little offbeat, like, hey,
Yeah. Yeah.
or you gotta believe me is one of his lines. That's like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Super rad. So going into 26. Well, hang on. I mentioned the video for Yes a little bit ago, and I wanted to talk about that because I love the found footage aspect of it, the nostalgic look, and I think that's been a thing that's over the last few, like at least the last year, with bands like Castle Rat doing some of those videos as well, where you get like and I'm guilty of it too in the with the deal. So when you're mapping out like videos like that, what's the overall idea? You're looking, it looks old school.
Idea.
It looks like it's on it looks like you filmed it on the old RCA VHS camcorder on the shoulder.
Yeah, I think it was a mixture of like Immortal Call of the Winter Moon
Yeah.
and like we had been watching a lot of like Italian like sword and sandal movies, specifically Conquest, which is a Lucio Fulci movie from 1983. And basically just like Conquest and like maybe some of the Ator movies. Those are some other like Italian like sword and sandal movies. Ator, Iron Warrior, yeah, just kind of Conan. I mean, we were watching a lot of this shit. I was watching a lot of this shit while we were making the album. And I think it informed, there is a theme or a plot, I should say, to Lord Have Mercy. And it's not about fantasy. It's actually about the future. And it's post-apocalyptic, I guess I would say. That's never explicitly stated in the video. But the theme of Lord Have Mercy is the world is going to hell. And as we go backwards, the medieval look and vibe is just one stopping point on our way backwards. And yeah, so Yes is like informed by that. It's informed by what's happening in our world today and tomorrow. Italian fantasy sword movies from the 80s. And yeah, Call of the Winter Moon, like an old black metal video. There's a great Satyricon video for Mother North that also has this kind of VHS-y, shoulder cam quality. And I think that's what we were reaching for. I'm not super familiar with Castle Rat, and we do hear their name like in connection to this video. I think it's just in the air, the medieval. We can all kind of sense everybody's into the Zodiac again. Everybody's into magic again. We've lost total faith in our leaders. People are building castles. I mean, plagues. There's new plagues everywhere. I mean, we are kind of. It is starting to feel medieval, isn't it? I mean,
sure. No, it absolutely
it's in the air. This is in the air. This is in the air.
Yeah, we're our sheriff of Rottingham up in Washington right now.
There you
go. But no, I totally get that, and things are cyclical. I think, and whether in technology or not, it is that's a moot point. It's just you got to look at what's going on, I guess, and I think that's a great way to explain it. Um, but the cover I think is awesome. The gauntlet with the is it the three for the third album? Is that what that's supposed to signify?
It's a
'Cause they,
peace.
or
It's a peace sign, but it's
but
also a three because everything with the Virgos is in threes. Like
sure.
yeah. So it's like a peace sign and a three because I love the number three, and the three shows up in our every album has a 3-word title, and there's 3 members of the band.
It's a magic number.
Yeah, three is the
It
magic
is
number.
a
It
magic
really
number.
is, it's
Yeah.
like the power trio,
Yeah.
you know, and I totally get that. And I love that, if Motorhead taught us anything or Rush has taught us anything,
Or Celtic Frost.
Celtic Frost, yeah, that, 3 people can do it
Oh yeah.
and make it work amazingly.
Oh yeah.
So the album came out back in August, excuse me. So what are you all planning for 26? What do we got going on?
Grand plans.
We got some grand plans. I
Are we
think.
talking like world domination?
I mean, we'll play wherever the world will have us. I don't know if that means domination or I don't know. I'll tell you what we do have. We're gonna have a video coming out in the winter time for Her Majesty, which is the second song on the album. It's like the first song with lyrics. So we're gonna have a video for Her Majesty. We're playing some shows. We're playing Florida at the end of January, or in the middle of January, I should say. Planning a West Coast run, probably for around July. It's looking like right now. And we are going to continue to promote Lord Have Mercy, promote the videos, promote the album. We have vinyl we're selling. The record's been re-released on Season of Mist. And while that's happening, behind the scenes, we are writing, finishing, recording our next album for Season of Mist. So always working on new material, always recording new material, promoting Lord Have Mercy until probably the middle or end of 2026, and then releasing a new album next year.
Hell yeah. That's awesome because, it's like when the pandemic happened, it screwed everything up so much on like album releases and pressing times and so on and so forth. And that's kind of getting righted. And even now it's 6 years later, and it's finally getting a point to where it's the wait times aren't 8 and 10 months for your vinyl anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when it comes to doing that, and it's like, how much when you're doing the album, I guess the new album, are you in like just in the writing? Are you in pre-production? Or are you ready to just record and go? And
album's written. We have like 5 songs recorded, and we're going to record the other half in January and February.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's awesome because I think, as a band, especially a working band and trying to do things that, again, what they say, to coin the social media aspect of it about content being king or whatever, having the most stuff that you can put out is ideal, I think. And it keeps people, even if you did like a single here and there kind of thing, it helps people stay on the radar. Because so many, with as fast paced as everything does move, sometimes it's hard to take a step back and sit there and say, hey, what happened here? Where holy shit, they put out this album, how did I miss that?
Yeah.
And I think that I get that a lot with bands, so staying on top of it's really fucking cool.
And this is just like there's a practical reason for us. We put out at least an album's worth of music every year. I think the first year we were a band, we put out like 10 singles, and then we put out an album called Pennsylvania Death Trip, and then we put out Road to Noxen in 2024, and then this year was Lord Have Mercy. But there's a practical reason that we do an album every year. Mark, as I'm sure you may know, tomorrow is not promised to us.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 months from now is not promised to us. And this year, I mean, there's things that I need to talk about and I need to say this year. And there's things that we want to do this year. There's noise that we want to make this year. And if we wait, it might not happen. It might never happen. So you have to just truly we're in a band. Our job in a band is to make music and play music. I don't get this like one album every 5 years bullshit. That's ridiculous. I mean,
I don't either.
we might not be alive in 5 years. Like we're gonna put out an album every year, and I mean, listen to it, don't listen to it. No album's gonna sound exactly the same. So it's not like we're gonna be like beating a dead horse. You know what I mean? So why not just whatever we need to say this year, we're gonna say it. And if we need to play it, we need to play it because Mark, I mean, God, 8 months from now, the world could be totally different. So you just gotta, if you're an artist, make your art. If you're making hay, make your hay while the sun shines. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. No, you're absolutely right with that. And, I had a friend who was signed to a major label back in the early 2000s. Um, and they had a 3 album deal with this label. And it was like what you were just talking about. It's like, I'm like, hey, I'd write like 30 fucking songs
Bang it
like
out.
that and just bang them out and fucking get things ready to go. And they were like, well, yeah, we would like to do that. But again, as you were saying, well, the world might not be the same place in 2 years when they want to push this second album out or whatever. And it's like fitting on their time schedule. And it's like, as an artist, you should never fit on a fucking label's time schedule. And you should always, every label should be able to accommodate the artist's schedule.
Yeah. Are you listening, Season of Mist? Did you hear that? No, I'm just kidding. They're great. No, they're fantastic to us, and they're like totally behind us. The reason that we're on Season of Mist is because Will, Jeff, and the guys at the American office, and Michael at the European office, were just really, really enthusiastic about us and just would not leave us alone. So that was just a joke about Season of Mist. They give us money. They give us money, and they're really cool.
They're nice people. They're nice boys.
Yes, they're very nice.
Absolutely. I texted Will the other day, and the Season of Mist account put up the what's your favorite album of the 2000s, and I was like, fucking Saint Anger. Shared it on there just to fuck with them, and yeah, they've got a great crew there, and I absolutely dig that label and everybody who I've had contact with working.
I've been buying their music since high school, so off of Season of Mist. So yeah, I've been following them for a long time.
Hell yeah. So possible West Coast run, booking a West Coast run.
Definite West Coast run. Definite West Coast run. We're going to be recording with our friend and part-time manager, Taylor Young, out there. I used to play in a band called Nails with him, but we're still good homies. He's a big supporter of the Virgos. He's a big reason that the Virgos are on Season of Mist. So we love his recordings. We love his sound. So we're going to go out and maybe record a single or something with him. Play some West Coast shows, play Bay Area, LA, and make our way back.
Chit-chat, that's amazing. So when you're doing the recording, just real quick on this, is like, are you all doing your recording in-house? Because so many bands seem like they do now, but there's still some of those bands out there that go straight up to studios just to, just for the experience. How are you all recording?
You want to talk about Joe?
Yeah, we record with Joe Loftus and Oliphant. So he's a metal guy. He has like an Iron Maiden bobblehead. He understands. It's not like hard to get him to get what we're doing. Like he just intuitively gets it, and he dials in like nasty guitar tones, and he layers my bass. There's like a distorted and a clean. So he knows things, and it's like, yes, we want to work with Joe.
Yeah.
So we head to the studio with Joe.
Joe gets it. Joe and Oliphant PA at Joe Loftus Studios. He gets us. And yeah, like Danny said, he just understands. So I don't have to explain a lot. When he says, what kind of tones are we looking for? He can get me in a ballpark if I just rattle off some adjectives or some bands to him, and then we go from there. Or if I bring an idea to him, like, Joe, I need a tone. I want to use this pedal. I need it to be fuzzy. It's got to have a low end with like some chug to it. He actually put me in touch with a guy that built the pedal for me that I wanted because it didn't quite exist. So Joe's one of our secret weapons. And yeah, so it doesn't make sense to record for us at home. Joe's just got a great facility and the know-how to be like the ultimate engineer, part producer, and recording, a recording guy for us. So
hell yeah. Sounds like the invisible fourth member.
Yeah, you know what the thing about the Virgos is too? We're a three-piece. We have like probably like 10 invisible fourth members.
That's amazing though.
There's a lot, you know, like my wife does the art. So like the cover of the album was done by my wife, and like so we have like a whole kind of team like working with us for a DIY band that, I mean, now we're signed to Season of Mist and we have label representation, but we assembled like a good family of people that kind of help us. And Danny's a designer too, so Danny makes a lot of our art and a lot of our merch. So we kind of have an in-house design team, you know, through Danny and my wife. Yeah, just we're kind of we got a lot in our going in our favor, I guess.
Hell yeah, because it's like a village, you know,
Absolutely.
as they say.
Absolutely.
And having those people that believe in your art just as much as you do, that's great.
Absolutely.
That's
I don't mean to change the topic, but getting back to that video too, we did that with what, 6 people, 7 people?
Yeah, we did that with 6 of our
us. Like, they believed the vision and they showed up and did it. It was all practical effects. We blew a bunch of shit up in the woods.
Shot a watermelon.
A bunch of fake blood everywhere. Like, you know what? It was great.
The head exploding scene at the end of the video. Have you seen the end of the video?
Yeah.
Eli's head gets struck by a bolt of lightning and it explodes. And you know, we looked up like, what's the best head exploding scene of all time? And it's like Scanners, when the guy's head explodes. So how did they do that in Scanners? Well, they shot a prosthetic head with a shotgun. So we just hollowed out a watermelon and we just filled it with red food dye and like gut looking stuff. And I just laid on the ground with my Mossberg, you know, my 12 gauge, and you know, it turned out fantastic in the video. So it's like, you know, like the theme of this is, if you need to get it done, you just got to go do it yourself, and you just go to the studio, write the music, record the music, make your art, because tomorrow is not promised. So if you want someone's head to explode in a video, shoot a watermelon with a shotgun. You know, that's the long and short of it.
That's funny that you say that, because I remember watching. I was homesick from school one day, and I was watching and this is in the 90s. Okay, so I was watching. It was some fucking talk show, and they had Tom Savini on.
Wow.
And they were
Tom
talking.
Savini, shout out Tom Savini, huge inspiration for the Virgos. Huge inspiration for the
Hell
Virgos.
Yeah. I mean, huge inspiration for fucking pretty much anybody in metal, I think.
Yeah.
But they were showing how they did the head scene in the Toxic Avenger. And it was fucking the same way. It was a cantaloupe that had been fucking cored out and put with fake blood and fucking hamburger.
Wow.
And he steps on it, and they like draw a face on it. And it was like a face with a
we did too.
It was a shape with a fucking face with a fucking Sharpie, and he fucking steps on it on the fucking thing, and it's just like fucking this gross looking shit, and it's like on national television. I'm like 10. It's like, this is awesome.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing you've ever seen. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like. And then I rented the fucking movie that weekend, and my video store is like, "Are you sure you can rent this?" I was like, "They don't care."
So now looking back, it's like, man, they had Tom Savini on like Ricky Lake or whatever. Like, that's like the best free promotion in the world. Like, did these shows exist to promote this media? I mean, like, I wonder, man, because, man, they pumping that Tom Savini into your 10-year-old brain was probably life-changing, you know?
Oh, it was. It absolutely was. Yeah. And shortly after that is when I really, discovered my favorite horror franchise, which is Phantasm.
Okay.
So
Phantasm. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I totally love that stuff.
Oh man, first Phantasm, it's like, you know, it's like it's one of the great, it's like one of the all-time classics. But man, those sequels get weirder and weirder. Like they get weirder and weirder and weirder. Yeah, well, that's interesting.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah,
it makes sense that they get weirder, because when he gives the tag in the trailer, it says Phantasm, a delusion of a disordered mind.
Yeah.
So they get weirder as they go. So
yeah, right.
Totally
true.
Makes sense.
True. Shout out
two
Phantasm.
though is the one that gets me because it's like it was owned by Universal for so long, and then it's just like because the Michael character is a different actor. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go ahead and switch over to Derail. These are some random questions about you all as people. That I draw from a deck of cards. It's a digital deck of cards here on the phone. My first question is, what do you geek out about?
Oh,
What do we geek out about? What
Good
do
question,
we what do
honestly.
we geek
I
out
don't
about?
want to say drugs. That's fun.
Yeah, it's fucked up to say drugs.
That can't be my answer.
Yeah.
do you mean individually or collectively?
Individually.
Okay, I have the truck autism. I like building trucks and truck suspensions and off-roading. My daddy was a diesel mechanic, so
Hell
I'm
yeah.
a hick. It's in me. I also chew tobacco, but I have trucktism. I love a square body, classic pickup.
Fuck yes. Fuck these round body fucking.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah, fuck that.
The bull nose like 85 to 95 Ford F-150s. And
Thank you so much. I love a fucking Ford. Thank you.
I mean, those ones are great. I mean, even the like the
Me and Danny
70s
argue
80s.
because I come from a Chevy family and she comes from a Ford family, and sometimes we argue about.
Well,
about
hang
that.
on. I'm not going to discredit a fucking C10 or C fucking 20 from like the 70s or 80s either,
Yeah.
because I mean, you could run into a fucking bridge with those and they'll just back out and still fucking run too.
Yep.
At the first Virgos practice, I pulled in my 98 Cherokee and Danny pulled in her Wrangler. And I just, we looked at each other wearing the same shirt and with a camo hat on. That's like part of the meat story. And it's just like, huh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, okay. Like,
hey, I mean, even those Jeeps are still fucking like the mid 90s Cherokees and stuff. They're great.
I'm never letting my 98 Cherokee go. Never.
Parts of them are great.
Yeah, never.
No,
never.
I mean, fucking park something under it, fucking park another fucking engine under it if you need to.
I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah. So is that what you geek out about too?
I mean, I think if I had to geek out about anything, shit, man. I mean, I don't know. What the fuck do I geek out about? Everything. I'm like a nutcase. What do I geek out about? I don't know. Eli, what do you geek out about?
Man, that's a really hard answer. Like I guess good tattoos. I work in a tattoo shop, and a lot of people fucking suck at tattooing. Like there's a lot of people, especially big names, that fucking suck at tattooing. So I guess I geek out over good ass tattoos.
No, I totally get that. I mean, I'm no stranger to the shop life kind of thing. And yeah, there's some people, it's like, why do you like that person's stuff? It's like, yeah, I don't get it, but
it's become an oversaturated market. So if like you are good enough to stand out, then you're good enough for me.
Right. Well, and I think you can thank people like Kat Von D for that.
Oh, I agree.
For it being a completely oversaturated market.
Is she a Virgo?
Yeah. Let's Google it.
I don't know. But I know she's
I know can't talk shit on any Virgos.
So she recently moved to Madison, Indiana, and bought some fucking old like 1850s house out there. And they was gonna renovate it, but then it was like filed under some fucking classic protection or something. Like it had to not be
historical building.
Yeah,
we got a lot of them here.
Oh, absolutely. And that was like, why can't I fucking do this? And it's like, well, maybe you should have fucking read before,
Yeah, shout out Kat Von D. If you're watching this, you might fuck with our band. I don't know. We could probably set you straight. I'll tell you what though, Mark, I do have an answer for you. There is something I geek out about. I'm just high right now, and I'm like out of my mind. But movies, specifically movies from like before the 50s, like mainly the 30s, like between 1929 when the talkies started and 1934 when they implemented the Hays Code, what they call pre-code talkies. And like movies in general, like from any era, but specifically like the 30s and the 50s, just Yeah, I geek the fuck out about some movies. Just any kind, horror especially, but any type of movie, any kind of movie whatsoever.
Definitely. Well, and I kind of do as well when it comes to like I look at movies from like the 30s and stuff and it's like the 40s being the dark times
Mm-hmm.
on film. It's kind of weird because like there is a lot of like dark exposures in those, but there's not a lot of practical effects. They're mostly just people in rooms doing scenes. Where in the 30s and the 50s you had a little bit more special effects and stuff like that. And you know, they just kind of they looked a little bit more magical in like the way they were delivered with like the film stock versus both of those versus like the 40s and stuff, especially in black and white.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I could totally relate to that. What's your guilty pleasure snack food?
Sweetheart's ropes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had the ropes.
They're actually pretty good.
I love Sweetheart products. I'm a child of the '90s, so Sweethearts were one of the more colorful candy items on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
So I try a lot of the sweet. I'm ashamed to say I try a lot of the Sweethearts products. So I'd say my answer is Sweethearts ropes.
Hell yeah.
I've eaten a whole can of Pringles sour cream and onion for lunch multiple days.
Hey, you're a mechanic, right?
No,
But you've done like you've done stuff with trucks and you've built trucks and stuff. So yeah, there is some bit of kind of mechanic stuff there. So I get it. I work in auto parts, so I mean, I've done that before too. That's like it's lunch delicious. On the go.
I can bring it with you.
So, Mark, you're literally like our fucking target audience. Yeah. You're into cars, you're into movies, and you're into Black Sabbath. Like, Mark, you're our target audience, you know?
Well, talking about this isn't I don't think it's a shitty tattoo, but talking about Black Sabbath.
I'm covered in shitty tattoos.
I have Tony's hand on my arm, so.
Wow.
That's the hand of doom.
Fucking rock.
Yeah, the hand of doom. I love that. That's so badass. That's badass, man.
Eli, what about you? What's your go-to guilty pleasure
Honestly,
snack?
I'm not going to front and say that I have a guilty pleasure snack, dude. I'm a professional pothead. I will eat anything at any time. I have eaten like dessert for breakfast and lunch and then had breakfast for dinner like yesterday. Like there is no guilty pleasure here, dude. I'm a human
it's
garbage
all
can.
A pleasure.
I'm a human garbage can. I will eat anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
No guilty, just pleasure.
Yeah, straight up.
That's right.
I don't have time for guilt.
So what's your go-to then?
I mean, my thing lately has been spicy nacho Doritos and Gushers together.
Ooh.
Tell me how fucked up that is. But honestly,
that's interesting.
It's a perfect blend of overtly salty where it's painful and then it's sweet to balance it out with an extra sweet goo inside. Dude, come on.
That's
the perfect balance.
I never knew we ate things like that, but that sounds pretty wild.
Yeah.
You know, I had somebody on the show a while back, and they used to eat it was like peanut butter, lettuce, and mustard sandwiches.
Okay.
And apparently it tastes like pistachio.
Peanut butter, lettuce, and mustard.
Okay. I'm gonna try that now. I will try
He's
that.
Gonna write it down. Have you ever seen a ghost?
Yes. Many.
2 out of 3?
I never have seen a ghost.
You haven't?
I haven't physically seen one, but I felt like there was one around. Does that count?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, feeling the presence. So what did you see? Well, you saw the ghost.
I grew up in a house that was, I think, haunted. I mean, when you're a kid and the stuff happens to you and you're like, it's happening your whole life. And it's just kind of like the feeling of being seen, seeing things, hearing things moving. When that's just like in the background of your life as a kid, it's like, I don't know. I never got molested, but I got to imagine it's like a remembering like a traumatic thing. And when I look back, sometimes even as an adult, I look back and I go, oh yeah, like that was kind of crazy. And I think I just like put it in the back of my mind, like traumatically at like 6 years old. And yeah, I just grew up in an old house that I was probably haunted. I mean, a lot of wild shit happened in it. And yeah, my sister and my brother all saw shit too. And yeah, so that was my experience. And then I think taking psychedelics to like going too far on Benadryl and going too far on NyQuil and psychedelics, I think also opened up like the Hatman dimension as well as the like elf dimension. So I'm just all around. I've done a little dabbling in the outside, you know.
And you're opening up the third eye there.
Yeah, it's wide open, baby, wide open.
Eli, what about your ghost
Oh,
experience?
like growing up, my house was next door to a giant cemetery, like a
Okay.
very, very large cemetery, like maybe 15 feet away, like 4 city blocks long.
Holy shit.
That
That's a
was
big ass
something that
cemetery.
my mother was very, very religious, and did not believe the things that me and my siblings would tell her that we were seeing or hearing. My siblings actually got like worse than I did. They would see them and dream them, like ghosts and spirits all the time. Like I feel like I grew out of it pretty quick. I feel like I've seen lots of ghosts. And then when I became like, I hit my teenage years, it was more like, oh, it's really cold in these specific spots of my house and the heat is blowing on me right now. But like my siblings truly were seeing ghosts and spirits from that cemetery and having conversations with them and everything. My brother had an entire journal when we were younger that he wrote down his conversations he had with different ghosts from the cemetery.
I never knew that.
Yeah, it was a
Wow.
genuine weird experience too. Just because the cemetery was primarily old. It was all old graves. There aren't too many new ones. I think the newest one was Hillary Clinton's dad. He died. Yeah, we got Hillary Clinton's dad buried across the street from my house. But
Wow.
that it was like it was a really weird experience, and I didn't really know how to, I guess, explain it until I was an adult. And I was like, okay, there is a complete and total separate spiritual realm that works mirrored to ours in a way. Um,
Sure.
so it's like, I've seen a lot of shit. My siblings saw even more shit, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah. I mean, no, I
um,
mean, I think that, growing up with stuff like that is definitely, it makes you wonder for sure, especially what's left, what's
there's like
coming, what's
quick
after this.
shadows, but also like full, like you could tell it's like a human body where you're like, okay,
Sure.
interesting.
I have a theory that like a ghost is like a burn. It's like a burn on the physical reality, the way that like in the when the atom bomb exploded in Japan, there were pictures of like the outline of people, like shadows got like burned into the ground. So
Hmm.
I think that like sometimes people can die traumatically and a piece of them, not a whole part of them, because ghosts are usually stuck somewhere, stuck on a loop, stuck in a mode of behavior. This is like common about ghosts. There's something they're trying to do. There's a place that they like to be. So this isn't like a whole thinking thing. This is what I think it is, like a soul dying traumatically, which that could, someone could die peacefully physically, but maybe mentally they're anguished, and their soul gets burned onto the physical reality, and what we're seeing is like a shadow burned onto space, and it's they're walking up the stairs every day, or grandpa's sitting and rocking in his chair, or he doesn't like it when anybody comes in the room, these kinds of things. Like that's just a theory. That's just a theory I have. You know what I mean?
That's actually really interesting. I've never thought of it that way, especially because, like, so I don't live that far from Waverly Hills Sanitarium in Louisville here, and that place is haunted as well. And but people see that when they do see things there, they see kind of the same stuff kind of over and over again. So yeah, getting stuck in that loop really does kind of make sense. Like
Yeah.
it's like the reset of putting it in like a film aspect here. It's like the CD skip, it's like it keeps
Mhm.
repeating the same thing.
Mm.
That's totally rad. I never thought of it that way.
Mm.
That's awesome. That's like something to research and write and check to see if anybody else thinks like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only, like I said, basing this off of the loop thing. You know what I mean? Like it's very rarely like Casper walking around talking, getting into hijinks, moving from one place to another. It's like someone that's somewhere trying to accomplish something, or you know what I'm saying? Like
Sure.
trying to complete something. I don't know.
There's a lot of spiritual activity up here.
Yeah,
Like in the
Pennsylvania's
Oh, yeah.
counties, man, specifically. Like,
well, you're not Appalachia exactly, but well, parts of Kentucky are
yeah,
Appalachia.
Parts
Yeah,
of Kentucky are, yeah.
yeah, and
Sure.
I have family. I have family from West Virginia, from the Huntington part of West Virginia, which is kind of near Ohio and Kentucky. But yeah, so Appalachia is it's spooky. It's just a little spooky out here.
Do you all have any of the H words up there?
The H word.
Words.
Yeah. The name of the beings that live in the woods that you're not supposed to talk
Oh
about.
yeah, I appreciate that, because
Yeah.
yesterday someone said the SW.
Yeah, we call them something different.
Someone said
Flesh pedestrian instead of a SW.
Yeah, someone said S Walker yesterday. If
Yeah.
you've ever heard of this term, and you don't want to repeat that term too much, because then you invite. I just was having a conversation with my wife yesterday. I've never been scared in the woods. I've been in the woods by myself. I've hiked in the woods at night. I've been in whatever. I've been by myself in the woods at night. I've never been like scared in the woods, and I always thought it's because I belong there.
Yeah, they exist, but
and if you and this is advice for life now, Mark, this isn't just about ghosts, but if you walk like Brad Pitt, if you walk like Brad Pitt, you get treated like Brad Pitt. So, like if you're kids, if you're 18 years old or you're 17 and you're broke and you're listening to this, if you don't have any money and you need to get into a show, put on like a badass leather jacket, get dolled up and try to just walk into that show confidently, like you belong there. And honestly, that has worked for me. So, maybe the ghosts just recognize my swag.
Hey, maybe that's awesome. Couple more. Do you believe companies like Ancestry.com and 23andMe are just basically DNA collection centers?
Yeah.
Yes,
we do.
Yeah, there's a reason that Epstein was invested heavily in a lot of these companies. There's a reason that they got pushed. They're feeding us all into the LLMs. They're feeding it all into the algorithms. Probably cooking up some new diseases to try to depopulate us. I mean, I'm going to let the guys speak, but that's my 2 cents on that.
I agree with that. I
yeah.
totally agree with what you're saying. Yeah.
And maybe even to incriminate you for a future crime that they would want to, if they had like motive to convict you, to put you away for doing whatever, they have your stuff,
Exactly. And I think that way too. Like, that's some creepy shit. And it's just like, yeah.
Why are you willingly sending them DNA? That's like what I want to know. How are you as an adult human being like, yeah, let me send my actual DNA?
And Mark, like, just on the face of it, it's absurd, because it took a team of like 100 scientists working 20 years to map like one section of the DNA. And you're telling me, and you expect me to believe you, that I'm sending my DNA in, and you have a team of scientists there that can analyze my DNA in like 1 week and turn around and tell me that I'm Welsh, Swedish and Zulu, when my family's Lebanese, Irish, and French and English. Like, come on now. Like, I ain't buying it. The math ain't mathin', Mark. The math ain't mathin' on Ancestry.com.
No,
it ain't mathin'.
Definitely doesn't. I mean, it might be like a thing where if somebody else has sent a sample in and you do have like a genetic marker match, maybe if they check that, but when they're like, oh, narrowing it down, well, you're like 87% Irish, 3%, like you said, there's a little bit, I think that's smoke and mirrors as well. But like,
much of our world is. Our world is. Yeah.
Very much so. And, so that's another life point there is don't send your fucking DNA to fucking companies like that.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Look at what the companies are doing publicly, never mind privately.
Good point.
Like in what world is that a good idea?
Exactly.
They have no shame.
Exactly. And honestly, it's almost to the degree too of it's like, you got to look at like, well, if they do want your DNA, I mean, they're gonna fucking find a way to get it anyways, because they're gonna fucking subpoena a hospital that you've ever fucking visited for it, because they keep those fucking records for like 15 years or some shit.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy shit that we all deal with these days.
Yes, sir.
One more question, but before we get to it, as always, links, they're listed below. So give likes, shares, follows, go do all the things and all the stuff. Go see them play shows, go buy albums, go buy shirts, go buy merch, do the thing. And hey, that's where it's really fucking at, is support.
We're booking a Louisville show. Because we want to chill with you, Mark. So
fuck yeah. Well,
so if you're listening this in the Louisville area, first I want to say shout out Kentucky. Beautiful state. I've spent some good time there. Shout out Louisville. And 2026 Louisville, we're coming to rock because we want to chill with Mark.
Well, fuck yeah, we'll make it work. We'll get my band and your band together.
Please, what's the name of your band? What's the name of your band?
Overload is my thrash band, and I have a power doom band called Ice Howl.
Oh, both of them. Let's play with both of them. Yeah. What kind of thrash are we talking about? Are we talking about like Pantera thrash, or is it like, Bullet Belt thrash? Like, what kind of thrash are we talking about?
It's Bullet Belt thrash. It's more like fucking Motorhead.
Fuck yeah. Cool.
There's some first 3 album Metallica riffage in that stuff. And
fuck yeah.
Yeah. We're totally
high top thrash with Bullet Belt.
High top sneakers with Bullet Belt thrash.
Yeah,
fuck yeah. But I'm a Boots guy, so
shout out Boots.
Yeah. So like, that's so funny that you said high top thrash, which is funny because I always said that thrash falls into 2 categories: boots or sneakers. And
the thing is,
it's like
the sneakers and boots are totally fine. It's when it turns into like party thrash is when you start like losing me. I'm like, dude, I drink on my own. I came here to see some rock, man. I don't care about that shit.
A weird one.
Boot and sneaker thrash can be hand in hand. They're both great.
Yeah, and they often work well off of each other.
I agree.
Yeah,
for sure. Do y'all have any shout outs or anything you else would like to promote today?
Season Mist.
Yeah, shout out Season of Mist. Shout out Mark. Thank you for having us. And
of course.
Yeah, go check out the video. Go check out the album. If you like the album but don't love it, check out the one before it. And if you like that one, check out the one before it. We got a lot of material out. So check it out. I mean, if you like metal, there's probably something in there that you'll fuck with.
Boom. Hell yeah. So my final question of the day is it's kind of lighthearted. And because we're recording this just before Christmas and everything, what's your go? And with Andy being such a film guy, film nerd here, what do you watch over the holidays? What's your go-to holiday watch list?
Great winter time movie. It's not just about winter, but it's from the 30s. It's a Soviet, it's like a Mosfilm movie directed by Eisenstein called Alexander Nevsky. And it's a great wintertime movie. It's about a historical Russian figure that fought off like the Golden Horde and the Germans and, secured Russia's existence around like 1200. I think it might actually be taking place in like 800. Yeah, that's a wonderful holiday film for me. And I really, really like Muppet Christmas Carol as well.
That's a good one.
Dude, that's like, I mean, that I need to watch that this week because it's been brought up repeatedly to me. I'm starting to see the reels on like Instagram with it, and like Michael Caine talking about how it's like, what's that?
The only human in the entire movie is
Yes. Yes. And that's the thing is he in an interview, they asked him like why he didn't play the role as a comedian, like a comic role. He's like, because I'm in a movie with a bunch of Muppets. And if I was, he's like, if I was funny, then it would have completely trashed the film. But he's straight and serious. and it basically gives like all of the Muppets life.
They're listening about giving the Muppets life. I love Muppet Treasure Island. But Tim Curry, the great Tim Curry, and I mean he's fantastic in that movie, but the great Tim Curry, it's almost like you can see that he just doesn't believe that he's actually interacting with like a real life form. It's like you can see that he's like, I'm just hanging out with a bunch of fucking puppets right now. And Tim Curry is one of the great actors of the last 50 years of film. But it's like when it comes to Muppets, there are people that can engage with the Muppets and engage with them like they're fucking actually human beings that they're talking to. And sometimes, and I think Michael Caine is one of these great instances where an actor can really interact with the Muppets. And also I've seen an interview that Orson Welles did with Jim Henson, where it's like, wow, Orson Welles could really talk to a Muppet like it was a being with sentience. And I think that's what separates the good Muppet movies from the fantastic Muppet movies.
Oh, for sure. And, you know, the other thing about Jim Henson is it was so ahead of his time.
Yes, he was.
Because standing there like this and just talking to the camera, but as he's talking, you know, Kermit is just doing his own thing. And he'd be talking about Kermit and touch him, and he looks back at him, and you know, it's like he's his hand controlling this Muppet is just it's like its own mind, and that's
multiple
so cool.
parts at once.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jim Henson is Jim. We miss Jim Henson desperately. We could have used a lot more of his art. And his life was tragically cut short. There's Jim Henson truth theories about whether or not he was murdered. I would encourage the audience to look into that. Jim Henson might have been murdered. Look into that, people. I'm just putting that out there.
Definitely. Andy, Danny, Eli, thank you so much for doing this. This has been awesome. Such a great Sunday conversation that I, started to sleep through originally. You almost can't tell. So on our way out today, we're going to play the video of Yes.
Oh, nice.
Thank you all so much. Metal
Thank
everybody.
you.
Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttatoosandpiercing@gmail.com and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing. Hey metalheads, after going to a rager, what's your ultimate go-to? Mine is totally pizza. So when Overload is playing, or I'm promoting the Metal Forge live showcases, or the big goddamn metal show, I go to Pizza Donisi. Pizza Donisi is gourmet artisan pizza from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. It features things like the pizza of the month, the sandwiches, and also vegetarian and vegan options, which is so totally fucking cool for all of it's awesome pizza. You definitely want to go. Hey, and also from time to time they do cannolis. Oh, so fucking good. You know what they said, man? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah, just like that in Godfather. They're located right next to the Mag Bar at 1396 South 2nd Street. So either stop in or call in at 502-213-0488. They're open till midnight. The witching hour.
Heineken, fuck that shit. Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Hey metalheads, you all hear me talk about Mag Bar all the time. It is the home to the Metal Forge live showcases and is an integral stop in the ultimate underground metal tour schedule. They obviously feature live music, but the Mag Bar also has daily specials like Pint and Slice Night on Tuesdays with Pizza Donisi. But they also do Bring Your Own Vinyl on Thursdays with DJ Kent Jackson, and Finer Things Sundays. Located right next to Pizza Donisi at 1398 South 2nd Street, open 3 p.m. to 4 a.m. 7 days a week. Get your asses out to the Mag Bar. Rock out. For 45 years and keeping Louisville weird, Electric Ladyland has been there for all your eccentricities. While they do offer the best smoking supplies out on the market today, there's a whole lot more to check out. From ashtrays and blacklight posters, to records, incense and burners, and items to stock your metaphysical supply. They are open from 10 to 10, 7 days a week. Located at 2325 Bardstown Road in Louisville, Kentucky, and at electricladyland420.com. Roll out. In 2017, one man's vision and passion for all things metal started out as a record store in his house. Years later, the fight against a mainstream empire continues as Shade Beast. An independent metal collective and online store based in Athens, Georgia, is the world's premier heavy metal brand for music heads that value authenticity over the mainstream acceptance. Featuring original t-shirts from some of the best underground artists, as well as stickers, posters from the Shade Beast Presents concert series. Unique, one-of-a-kind collectibles and small curated selection of vinyl and cassettes from the masters old and new. Visit shadebeast.com and enter promo code SithLord for free domestic shipping on your first order, whether you're a new customer or returning. And be sure to join the Shade Beast social groups on Facebook and the interwebs to keep up with the new release announcements and talk all things metal and Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and filth.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The Sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Since 2013, there has been a calling from the underground, from the graves of all those unholy, and they decided to make a zine to talk about all of this. Soul Grinder Zine! An independent metal zine to keep you informed on all things metal and horror from the underground. Available in both print and digital formats, they're bringing you the best interviews and reviews out there today. Not only do they do the zine, but they also do compilation CDs. Check them out at facebook.com/soulgrinder.zine and start your subscription now. Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code METALFORGE10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Set back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock in what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code MetalForge10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now. Hey Metalheads, it's with great pleasure I get to tell you guys about a new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Ageless Art, New Albany. After 20 years of owning and operating Ageless Art in Clarksville, Indiana, Phil Garrett had a vision for a new type of tattoo studio. Something that is clean and modern, sleek, refined, inviting. And he's done just that with Ageless Art in New Albany. You can find it at 2736 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana, 47150. Business hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays are 12 to 6. All sessions are appointment only, so give them a call and go get you some new ink. Or if it's your first time, go get your first one, baby.
In a broken wasteland, come to my fire and place your blood and steel upon my pyre.